Most people think scanning their old photos will solve their problem. But if you scan before organizing, you're actually creating a bigger mess. I call it digital spaghetti. Thousands of files, no way of finding anything, and no real connection to the story with the photo. So before you scan a single photo, don't scan the mess, sort the story first. If you've got your own pile of photo chaos, we've got you covered. Click like on this video and subscribe to the channel. Hi, I'm Rhoda. I'm a certified photo manager and the creator of Dig Your Photos, a step-by-step system that helps you organize printed photos so you can actually use them, enjoy them, and share them with your family and friends. So let's be clear, I'm not telling you not to scan. Scanning actually is truly important. It provides a backup copy of your photos. So that protects your printed photos in case anything ever happens with weather or other types of damage. You now have a backup that's digital. Also, it allows for restoration. You know your photos fade with time, so you can color correct them and bring them back to life. And it also makes them accessible and easy to share with projects or with family. But what I'm saying is scanning your photos is not your first step. Your first step is to organize before you scan. That way you end up with photos you can actually find and use. You're not just digitizing, you're deciding what matters. Organizing your photos is not rocket science. You just need a process. And the first step is to decide on your goal. Why are you scanning your photos? Is there an event coming up, like a wedding, and you want to create a slideshow? Or do you have a move that you're anticipating and you don't want to move those boxes again and again? Or are you creating a beautiful legacy project where you're going to organize and scan all of your photos so that you can pass it down for generations to come? That is a beautiful goal. But whatever your goal is, write it down because you'll come back to it. It'll help keep you focused and it will prevent you from being overwhelmed as you go through the next steps. And that brings us to the next step, which is to gather all your physical photos based on what your goal is. You're going to bring them in one location. You need to be able to assess it and see what you have. And the reason that I wanted you to write down that goal is because based on that goal, that's where you're going to look for your photos. And don't just look at the boxes and bags. Don't forget you have frames of photos. They're probably sitting under a bed because you took them down last time you painted. And you also have albums. So definitely include them because they've already been curated. Those are your best of the best photos. The next step is the quick sort. And this is a first pass where you take your pile of photos and you put them into piles. And I have narrowed it down to 3 piles. The best of the best photos, the important photos that really support the story of your life or whatever goal you are trying to achieve. And then the third pile, you can name it whatever you want, recycle, trash, basket, whatever you want. But that's the pile that's probably going to be the largest if you've never pared down your collection. Now, your best of the best are the photos that you're going to actually go to if you are ever creating some sort of big project like a slideshow or a photo book, maybe for someone's 80th birthday. Those are your favorite photos. They make you smile and maybe they're a little more polished than the rest of them. Your supporting photos are all the other photos that support that amazing vacation, but you don't need all of them to be in the best of the best pile. And then the trash pile, I'll call it right now, is all the blurry photos, the duplicates, the triplicates, and all the scenery photos that have no people in it. And all those vacation photos that you took pictures of maybe the rental car you had or other things. You don't need them. They're kind of superfluous and just taking up space when you really just want to be able to find the photos that are meaningful to you. If you've never done this quick sort part before, this is where you're really going to start to feel relief, like you've made a big accomplishment because now you are very much focused on what matters most to you. The next step is creating a family timeline, and many people skip this step, but I think it's one of the most important tools to really organizing your photos. And it's an exercise in writing down all the milestones of whatever the photo time period is. But the births, the marriages, the deaths, as well as where people lived, what pets they had, and important dates like maybe graduations or when kindergarten started or anything like that. And then you physically plot it on a timeline, a long piece of paper, and you write down all the milestones. Put your photos where they belong along the timeline. And that way, it's a physical tickler to identify where the photos belong. And then the photos that you're left with that maybe you don't know where they belong, you can look at the clues in the background or the faces, and you can decide where they fit in between the other photos that you do have a date for. Don't get really stuck on the exact dates, and you don't have to go down to the exact year. Going by decades sometimes is so much easier and just as important, or going by time period in a person's life: young childhood, early adulthood, young marriage, raising children, becoming grandparents. Those are amazing categories to really have. Now your photos are just about organized and it's time to start scanning. So here are some quick tips. First, I already taught you how to organize, easy peasy. Next is inventory. Know how many photos about you have. And I'll give you a quick tip. If you stack up your photos, about an inch is 100 photos. And this allows you to know how many photos you're going to be scanning. And whether you're scanning or you're sending your photos out to be scanned, make sure that they're cleaned. Photos sit around collecting dust, and even a speck of dust on your photo will look magnified once it's digitized or scanned, and then you'll have to edit it. So you can take a soft cloth, you clean the front, and you clean the back. Or you can also take a soft brush, same thing. And lastly, resolution counts. A normal photo is 300 dpi. I won't get into details about that. But what you need to know is if a photo is scanned in at 300 dpi, it will print out in an amazing way at the same size. But if you make it larger, it may lose quality. And so that's fine for a photo this size, possibly. But think about if you're creating a photo book or a collage and you have a smaller photo, maybe like this, or maybe even this. I want to blow it up much bigger. It will lose quality. So I always say go up to 600 dpi. That way you can ensure that you can enlarge the photo if you ever want to print it one day or use it in a beautiful print project. If you'd like a simple checklist of tips for better scanning, I've put together a one-page guide that you can download to help you get started. You'll find the link in the video description below. If you found this video helpful, be sure to like and subscribe for more tips on organizing and preserving your photos. Organizing your photos before you digitize them is what turns a pile of pictures into a story you can share. So follow my steps, rewatch this video if you need to, and remember, sort before you scan.